Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So in this one, I thought it was about time to do a collection update because last time I think it was fall of last year. So I think it's about time, and I might do another one this fall because there's a lot of growing in between like July and October here. So if there's enough change, you know, I'll do another update in the fall. So here's everything. I have this big shelf over here and a couple plants hanging up. And then also this Maxillaria tenuifolia is in bloom. And right now, these tend to be like, I don't know, heat triggered or something to send out their scent. So on a hot day like this where it's sunny and all, you really smell it, but it's got some buds still not opened on it. And it's got a whole bunch of blooms. Let's zoom in on one of them. Yeah, this is my Maxillaria tenuifolia, and the name, the clone name, or is that what it's called? I'm not exactly sure. Was Belize 84. I don't know. Then I also have my vanilla over here in the corner, and it's just, you know, it's grown a lot and it wants to just grow straight up, but I just pinned it down to that because I want it to go back down the pole because there's two sides of it. Might as well use both sides. Just have a couple things in front of the fan because they need to dry out. And this is my Bulbophyllum corolliferum crossed with Bulbophyllum daisy chain. It's grown a lot, but right now it's got a whole bunch of little new growths on it, if you can see them all. And there's a whole lot of little ones down in there. So this plant, it's just like, you know, doubling in size every year, but it's always really fun to watch that thing grow. But it just hasn't dried out in for forever, so I'm letting it sit out in front of the fan. Well, right now it's not on, that's just for filming, but I turn it on when I'm not filming. Also, I know the greenhouse is a wreck. I have like bug stuff down there, everything to control the issues in the plants. And then I have all the rest of the plants over here, but you know, that's pretty much everything. You know, I'm gonna go over it and like show you guys, and here are all the Catasetums up top too. But I just wanted to do a quick little overview of everything first. Alright, so first I just wanted to show you guys like some of the plants that are mounted. This is my Brassavola nodosa, and you know how big it is, right? I still never got a bloom from it, so hopefully this year I'll get a bloom. See, there's like old spikes and stuff, but they all, you know, aborted right before they were about to bloom, so that was really annoying. But I just remounted it to this because it needed a bigger mount, and it's sending out roots. If you can see them down on there, they're attaching everywhere. So that's my Brassavola nodosa, and it's been doing pretty good this year. Then I have an Encyclia tempensis right here, and here are the Dendrobium phylum cakeys that Todd over at Todd's Tropicals sent me, and they plumped up really nicely, and they're doing really great, and they're sending out roots, the ones that are on the tree fern, onto the tree fern, so they're just starting to attach. So they're doing really good. Once again, thank you, Todd, for these, and you know, they're gonna be great. This is my Stanhopea tricornis, and it's doing not as good this year as it did in years before. So I already got this new growth, and then that new growth is already sending out another new growth, and I had this growth here, which might send out another new growth, but I'm not exactly sure what it's gonna do. And I haven't gotten any blooms this year from it, but you know, hopefully I will later on in the year. Another one that's kind of like hanging, but you know, down, and I might forget about it, is this Bulbophyllum Michael Wright. It never attached to this, so I kind of want to get like a tree fern roll for it, if you understand what I'm talking about. And maybe it'll grow onto that, because I feel like it would just work better on that, but I don't know. It hasn't done very well for me like ever, but hopefully if I get it on the right thing, it might grow a little bit better. Alright, so over here, I kind of like wanted to clump things together this year, if that makes any sense. So here are all the Dendrobiums pretty much. There's a Kingianum here, Kingianum there, and obviously the phylum cakeys and this no ID over here, but these are just like all the no IDs pretty much except for one. This is my Comet King at Katsuka or something like that. And I had slug problems with this plant for a while, but I finally got some slug bait, and so now the new growths are just growing healthfully. I think it's probably both of them, if I'm being honest, were eaten by slugs and they came back, but that one, it's doing pretty good other than the initial slug problem. But all of these, the Dendrobium phalaenopsis, I have never done good with Dendrobium phalaenopsis, so I'm probably just going to get rid of all of mine. I don't know where I'm going to get rid of them, if anyone wants them. you know, I'm probably gonna take it to the Orchid Society meeting when we get back into show, or, you know, back to meetings. I'm gonna just get rid of them because I don't do good with them, and I know other people do great with them, so I'm just gonna give them a better life because I just don't do good with Dendrobium phalaenopsis. I can tell them their colors, but anything past that, I don't know IDs or anything, so yeah. And then back here I have No ID Nobly, which once again had the slug problems. For some reason, slugs love Dendrobium Nobly cakeys. Not cakeys, sorry, new growths. And so they just ate it away, but now it's just starting out. And if you didn't see on this one, the Comet King, it's making some really good root growth. So that's pretty much all the like Dendrobiums. I just didn't have much to talk about. Oh, and of course, this other No ID that I put down. This one is the only Dendrobium phalaenopsis that's ever done good for me. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, good isn't like great, but it's just got a lot of spider mite damage on it. But as you can see, this actually kept a lot of its leaves instead of just dropping all of them and making a bunch of cakeys, which if you can see, it's trying to make a bunch of cakeys. So yeah, those hate me, but this is the one Dendrobium phalaenopsis that I would definitely keep. Then this Dendrobium kingianum here, it didn't put out any new growth until about last week, and now it's got a bunch of little new growth just starting out at the base. And I don't know if you can really see them, but every once in a while you'll see like just a little nub. It's just starting out. This is that little division I took off of this Dendrobium kingianum, and it's honestly looking kind of better. This new growth, see this one right here, that came up this year in about April, the time when new growths are actually supposed to form, and you know, it looks great, but the mother plant was just a little bit behind. Then next to it kind of had like the Oncidium-ish type, and I only have 3 Oncidium types. So I have this, is it Miltassia Shelved? It's giving me a spike. It's been since I bought it that it gave me a spike, but I'm finally getting a spike off of it. And you know, it's grown a whole lot. It's now in a 6-inch pot, and it's fresh in here about maybe 2 months ago, so it's doing pretty good. And then I have this No ID Miltoniopsis, and it hates me. It's probably gonna die soon. Yeah, anyway. I don't really care that much. It was $2.99 at like Kroger's, I think it was. I'm not from a place where we have Kroger's. I just was there and I saw it and I was like, you know what, let's get it. But I had 2 others and they just died with that orange rot stuff. But I once had a Miltoniopsis before that lived. You know, it lived for about 1.5 years with me, and then it died. And then I have another Oncidium down here. I put it down here for space problems. This is my Oncidium. Well, I guess now we correctly ID'd it on the Facebook group about 6 months ago maybe as Oncidium Heaven Sent. And it's grown really nicely for me. I still have it as Sherry Baby though, but I'm pretty sure it's Oncidium Heaven Sent. It was a no ID, but we tried to ID it. It's grown a whole lot since I bought it. I think when I bought it was 1 or 2 bulbs, and now we got a whole bunch of really fat ones. And it's got, if you can see, there's 1 growth there, and there's 2 growths on the other new direction. So it's growing really well, and also is giving me a spike right now. So it's down in there. Maybe you can see the shadow of it. Yeah. Alright, so now onto like the cattleyas and stuff, and you know, I loop in with cattleyas and cycleas, epidendrums, even though I probably shouldn't, but it's just like, I don't know, they're kind of in the same family. So this little dude, it is my Volcano Wonderland. I got this from Lowe's. I think this was one of my first cattleyas. I think it was the second one. It is, you know, it grew pretty weak for a while, but you know, these last year and this year have been really strong. So I got this new growth too, which is just about to go over the side of the pot, sadly. I didn't need to stake it up when it gets just a little bit big enough, but it's in a 5.5 inch really shallow dish. That's what these shallow dishes are, but you know, I'm still proud of it, and I've never gotten a bloom from it because, you know, I guess it's just about creeping up on blooming size, but you know, hopefully soon I'll get a bloom from it. Maybe this year, it's the year. Back here we have I don't know what the idea is, if I'm being honest. I was never really attached to this plant. I got it for $3. BLC lime sherbet crossed with little stars, and it had a white and lime green, not lime green, but like a lighter green color bloom, and it's grown well for me. I just never really pay much attention to it, and it just kind of sits in the background. So that plant's pretty fun. Here's my Lelea tenebrosa, and its 2 new growths, if you guys saw it when I repotted it, have grown up a lot, and they're not like all the way there yet, but they're definitely getting there. And the new roots, you know, came out just in time after I repotted, and you know, they're going down into the media right now. So this is really healthy in its pot, and it'll probably be in here for another like 2 years or so. But this is the plant. I'm really proud of it. It's done really well for me, actually. So I'm actually just gonna do them together. These 2 are my BC Maikais, and you know, one of them I got for free, the other one I paid 20 something bucks for, but they do so much better outside. They just don't grow inside, and I think the one in Orchiata in a bigger pot is happier. I really need to repot this one. I wanted to put it in a smaller pot so it could really establish some good roots before I put it in a bigger pot. It might be a little bit too big for it. But yeah, so right now it really has like no roots, and it's just starting to establish some, so I don't want to bother it, but later I will, 100%. And this is a Brassolelia yellowbird, and I actually have 2. So this one I got, funny story, I was at like a furniture store or something, and it was just dead in the window. It had no green on it, and I said, hey, like this is dead, but it might not be completely dead, so can I take it and just try and like, I don't know, bring it back to life? And she said sure. So it's never doing great, you know. It honestly would be a plant that a lot of people would just toss at this point, because it's been what, a year and a half like this. But I'm not gonna toss it, you know, why not? I have room. But the one that, you know, I bought that I didn't get at a furniture store, it's doing really good. Now I broke a growth and I did something weird I kind of want to show you guys. So this is the broken growth right here. It's still like on it. It's still pretty solid on there, so it might grow. I'm not exactly sure. But another growth just grew right in its place, and that's what some of these orchids do. And I really love seeing things like that because I mess up a lot. And it's really nice to see that they just got your back. They can keep on growing. And once again, this is just one of those plants that kind of sits in the back. This one too, kind of just leave them to be. And this one, well, these 2, I guess, are my Epidendrum radicans. And they have pushed out some new growths down at the base, but they're like just starting out. And there's another one somewhere on this plant. But I might just put them in full sun sometime soon, because these normally just sit right here. Because I don't know, I don't want to like put them up here because they used to have a spider mite problem, but now I don't think they really have one, so I might put them up there. But for now, they're in here, and I'm going to try and slowly move them out into the full sun, even though I should have done that like months ago. I just didn't. This is my Lelea purpurata semi-alba Chavez crossed with Otto, and this has grown into its pot very nicely. Has put a couple roots down in there, and you know, it has 2 directions of growth. So this one, once we get a nice big growth off of this, I'm just going to take it off, and then I can scoot this farther back in the pot or something, because right now it's already growing off of it, and I just put it in here. I should have put it in an 8-inch pot, but I feel like that's a little bit too big, so I didn't want to do that. And it's looking good. This Cattleya has really impressed me this year. This is my LC Richard Dagenhart crossed with LC Persepolis. And you know, it's giving me this new growth right here, which actually has a sheath in it, if we can see down in there. Yep, and it's also got another new growth over here, which is doing pretty well. And honestly, it might give me a second flush, maybe one other growth or something. I'm not exactly sure, but it's done pretty good for me. And this year might actually be the year that I get a bloom with this sheath. This is that Cattleya Astraea Jenny, and it's putting down a lot of new roots down in there. It's got a couple growing down in there right now. And its new growth might be a little bit shorter, but you know, it was freshly divided, so that makes sense. But I'm still really proud of it because it's giving me a lot of good roots down in there. And I have my 2 little Walkerianas right here. Let's move them over, show them to you. So if you don't remember, I got these this spring, I believe, from an order from Fred Clark, and I didn't think that they would grow this well for me, but they are, so I'm really proud of that. So this is a new growth that came on this year, and it's giving me another new growth. It might be a bloom. I think it's just a new growth though. And you know, I didn't get as plump as the last growth. I wish it had. I don't know what the secret is. If anyone knows the secret to Walkerianas or Nobiliors to get them fat bulbs, let me know. I water them every day because these dry out fast. Like, they want water really well. And also these 2 little new growths were on it before too. This is the other Cattleya walkeriana, and it has given me 2 good sized growths, you know, that one and that one. And then those new growths are giving me more new growths. There's, you see that one, and then this little new growth down there. And you know, they've done really well, so I'm glad I bought these walkerianas. I might get into walkerianas, nobiliors and stuff and get some different color varieties too, because I don't know, they're so satisfying. Now, as I was talking about my nobilior over here, I repotted into a 5-inch pot, and it's giving me some good roots down in there too. Right now it's kind of like root growing season because it's really rainy, and it's just, you know, time to grow good roots. It's giving me some roots down in here, if you can see. And it's doing pretty good, giving me another good growth right here to really establish that good root system. So I'm really, really proud of this one. Here's my Encyclia diurana, and it finally gave me a little new growth after forever of not growing anything, and then it also gave me a couple new roots. So hopefully this one, you know, picks it up. Now my Encyclia cordigera is shriveling, but it's giving me new roots, so it has hope. It's gonna be able to use those pretty soon, and it's giving me a really nice growth right there, and a seed pod, which I hope that I can flask up, and you know, all of the flask won't just mold over, because that happens a lot with me. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I'm just really bad at sterilizing everything, but it's kind of just annoying. So this is my Encyclia Rio Clearance, and it's giving me 2 new growths, if you can see right there and right there. And you know, I'm proud of this one too, because 2 growths off of a smaller plant like this, you know, that's good. It's gonna give me 2 directions of growth so early on. And then right here I also have my other division of my Encyclia tempensis, which, might I just say, you know, it's been a while since I bought it, but I'm thinking like, what a steal I got. I think I paid $15 for, it was this plant and the other one, but they were like together with just a couple dead bulbs in between, so I just cut them in half, mounted one, potted the other, and see how they grow different. But yeah, I was really proud of it. And now on to the other side, but first I actually want to show you something. This is a Venus flytrap, and I stuck it in a cup because, you know, they love their water, and I just leave some water down the bottom. But I don't know, I've never been able to grow these before, and now I'm getting blooms off of them. I've never seen one bloom, but I know that they do bloom. I'm just gonna skip over the Catasetums. They're just kind of like sitting there, and I'll go over to this side in a minute. Alright, so down here I have my cooler-ish growers. I just try and keep them down, because these are shade lovers all down here too, so, you know, it's fine that they're down. You know, hopefully it'll also keep them a little bit cooler. But right here is my Uricon rothschildiana. It's putting out some good roots, and it's giving me 2 leaves. It gave me this leaf, and now it's giving me this leaf, and it's getting a little curly on it, which I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing, but I kind of like it. Hopefully it gives me some more roots. But, you know, 2 roots right now for like a seedling, you know, honestly I'm surprised that it's survived, but it's been doing actually really good for me, so it's really nice. Down here I have my Neophoenicia falcata, and this is a Gojo Fukuran, if anyone wants to know. And it's giving me some good roots too. They're just not growing in the pot. I have 1 growing down in the pot, I think, and then these 2 are just, you know, all out. And I don't want to bloom from this, but, you know, maybe a new growth. Anyone that grows these, like, could you guys, like, let me know? I mean, like, when does a new growth come off on these? Is it like later in the season, or is it about now, early in the season? I don't know. I mean, I just want to know, like, when should I expect a new growth, because that'd be cool. And it's kind of, I don't know, I just like to get another growth on it. But let me know if anyone knows, or if it's like just kind of specific to your plant. And before I forget about them, I want to talk about the 2 phals. This is one I think I call my Spring Sunshine. It's doing good, giving me some good roots. And then this one, I don't know what it's called. I don't know I think this is my purple one. It's got damage on it. I don't know what the issue is. I think it's lack of watering and too much sunlight. It's not liking me right now, but it'll be fine. I just gotta give it some time. Now my 2 Sarcochylluses, the 2, they're the same ID. It's Culnura Roundup, I think Spot, crosses Culnura Secure. And I don't know how much they've grown, but I hope they have grown a little bit. I think they have, just not like too fast. I don't know, they seem like a bit slower of a grower, but I don't know. They give me a couple issues. I think they really are a lot more of a cooler grower than I think. So, you know, that's why I put this little fan right here to keep them blowing on the cool growers. Hopefully it'll, I don't know, help them out. So, you know, I've thought about bringing these in, but I just didn't. Oh, speaking of the cool growers, I have a masturbalia inside. I should probably show you guys, but we'll get to it later after I finish everything out here. Alright, so now for this shelf. So this is my Angraecum sesquipedale, and it's giving me a really nice fat new root here. So I can't wait to just see that, you know, grow down into the pot. And I thought I had a spike at one point, but I did not. So yeah, and this Paphiopedilum, it's my only Paphiopedilum. I'm not really a big Paphiopedilum fan, but it has a really nice root system. It loves me for some reason for its roots. Like, I used to not be able to do this, and now I can, like, you know. And I want to know when a new growth comes out on this too. Like, I could probably just Google this, but if anyone knows, you know, let me know in the comments when a new growth might come out, because this is pretty much mature. I don't know, it's been growing for about a year now, and it's not pushed out new growth. I thought it might by this point, but now, you know, the bottom leaves are starting to go yellow. I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, it seems to like me. I know its roots like me because I just showed you I can pick it up and it doesn't just fall out, but it definitely likes this Orchiata mix. For some reason, I had it in like a weird sphagnum peat mix or something before. It did not like that, so I repotted it in this. Here's my RTH Big Kiss, and it's giving me a really nice new growth here. And, you know, it hasn't grown many roots though, but it's doing fine. Here's my Epilele Cattleya Golden Sunburst, and it's giving me 2 directions of growth this year. So I have this one that just, like, it's starting to plump up and it's pretty much done growing, and then I have this little new growth down here starting. And, you know, really proud of this one. I can't wait to see it bloom, because right now it has a little sheath in this one that hopefully matures and doesn't just like give up or something, because that happens a lot. Right here is my BLC Edisto Newberry crossed with Mem Crispin Rozilla's Behold. I don't know. This plant needs to be repotted. I probably should have repotted it a while back. It grows very nicely and it's very, very top heavy, but it probably also has a really nice root system in there. And it's got 2 directions of growth. I'm actually really proud of this plant. I just never repotted it from the pot that I got it in, but, you know, it's done well, so it's not like there's really an issue with that, you know. So back here we have the triplets, the little tiny seedlings, cattleyas. So this one, it is the, yep, I'm not gonna say it. It's got a really bad new growth. I mean, it'll probably grow up, hopefully, but I've sprayed it with, you know, all these pesticides and stuff, and, you know, hopefully it'll be just fine, but I don't know. Here's the BLC White Diamond. You know, it's giving me, this is actually like the nicest new growth I've gotten on one of these little baby cattleyas. And, you know, I'm not the greatest with seedlings, so I think I've just made that decision that I'm not good with seedlings. So I should probably just not buy any seedlings, like, or flasks or anything. But, you know, if I make my own seedlings, hopefully it'll do fine for me. You know, I'm going to take extra precautions from now on with seedlings, but this one is my BLC Green Witch Elmhurst Green. So this one also gave me a decent new growth, and I'm getting another little new growth down there if you can see it, and I don't think you can. The lighting is really bad, I'm sorry guys. And also I know that it keeps having focusing issues, which is also really annoying. I try and like tap on my screen, which focuses it every time I see it, but, you know, sometimes I just can't catch it. So this is my RLC Wene Leopard Xinghu spots, and it's just, its roots are doing really good. They're going all over the place. They love the humidity, and, you know, hopefully I get a second new growth this season, but I don't know if I'm going to. You know, even if I don't, you know, this plant is giving me a really nice root system, and that's what really counts right now. Okay, so going down here, I'm just gonna move this Bulbophyllum phalaenopsis really quick. I have 2 phalaenopsis down here too. This one is doing really good for me. I think this is my first one that I like calling the Sun Passat, but it's not, it's still a no ID. It's giving me a fat new leaf here. I think it really likes this added sunlight that it's getting on this corner right here. Then we have one back here, which I don't know what it's called, is getting, you know, it's doing pretty good back there. And then right here we have that big Bulbophyllum that I showed you guys earlier. Here is the Bulbophyllum fletcherianum that Todd sent me. Its new growth has developed that much, and I water it every day, sometimes, you know, twice a day. I just try and keep it as moist as possible. And, you know, a lot of the Bulbophyllums down here, it's not good, but they get watered by the drippings of the other plants, and, you know, they pretty much stay wet all the time anyway. But back here, I have my Bulbophyllum Eberhardii, and it's just now giving me 2 new growths. You can see that. And, you know, that's good, because I didn't think it was going to do anything, but hopefully they grow into some nice size little bulbs. And here's my Bulbophyllum Phalaenopsis. It's giving me a new growth on the smallest growth, direction of growth there, but not on the bigger ones yet. So hopefully I get that sometime soon. I might be giving it too much light, but I'm not exactly sure right now. Now up here on the second tier shelf, I have this little Cymbidium. Hasn't really done much, but I did check it. I was really paranoid that this wasn't producing any good roots, so I pulled it out and there was just like a really robust root system, so I just put it right back in. But it's growing really nice roots, but it's just not really developing these bulbs. Here's my Chysis bractensis. It's giving me a really nice new growth, which should develop, you know, a little bit better later in the season. But right now it's doing really good. Here's my Maxillaria Hedwiga crossed with Sophronitis. So I think it's Maxillaria Sophronitis. And, well, yeah, probably. But, it's grown a lot, actually. And this is one of the plants I really just kind of like water and move on. But it's doing really well, so I'm proud of it. And back here is my other Maxillaria. This is a Maxillaria variabilis. And it's doing great as always. It's a weed for me. It just grows no matter what you do, really. So if you guys don't have a variabilis, just, you know, try and find one, because you're probably going to do just fine with it. You think you're failing because it hasn't like plumped up the new bulbs yet, and they're just kind of like really like pea-sized, but then, you know, like right before your eyes in a week, just in a random time, they'll just plump up. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think that's really cool how they just kind of like plump up out of nowhere. Here's my Phragmipedium Robert, I think it's Silch. Yeah, Robert C. Silch. And it, I don't know, it's alive. It's not thriving, but it's alive. And so I'll give it that, and hopefully I can just keep it alive, and then hopefully it'll push out new growth. That's what I'm really waiting on, is a new growth to give me new roots. But back here is my Bulbophyllum Mastersianum, and it's that new growth on it that was there when I first got it is starting to leaf out. And also its leaves no longer look so leathery. They're actually like, you know, plump. So once again, thank you, Todd. It's doing great. You know, all the plants you sent me are actually doing really well, so thank you. And back here is just my no ID, and I think I actually settled on an ID. It was Colorum or something like that. And it's giving me 3 new growths. If you can see, there's one kind of like right there. There's another one right here, which is bigger, and then another one right there, which is doing really good. So, you know, this plant, I don't know much about Phragmipediums or anything, but I kind of want to get more because, I don't know, I think they're cool. I like the way they bloom. Here's a Rupicaleus Laelia that I have, and it didn't do anything for a really long time, so I potted it back. I did from a 3-inch to a 2-inch pot. I thought maybe it's just, you know, over potted, because these really like to be crammed. So, and then it started pushing out new growths, so maybe that was the issue. So here is the big old Dendrobium nobile. Now this one, it already gave me 6th growths, I think. That was all messed up. It already gave me 6 growths, and yesterday I left it out in the sun and it kind of got burnt. But, you know, it's fine. I think the leaves will be just fine, but this is probably like the worst damage it's gonna get. But it pretty much took full sun from 10 to about 4, which is like our main sun hours. So I think it could honestly just take being in full sun all day. But, you know, it's doing really good. It already gave me 6 growths, and I'm getting a second flush of growths, which is 10 different growths down there. So at the end of the season, I'll have 16 growths on it. So that's really great. And right here is my Chysis Lemminghii. Has this growth, which is a lot more matured than the other ones. And then 3, which are just starting out. So that is everything. It is 100 degrees out here, and it's like painful to be out here. I'm not used to high heats, but you know, that is everything. Actually, wait, no, I do have some other things inside and outside of the greenhouse, but I'm gonna turn back on the fans. I'm gonna show you everything outside and my Masdevallia inside. Here are all my Vandos in the tree, and they're doing actually really good. I'll show you the roots. So this is my, it's like a Rankostylus crossed with a Vanda. I forgot what that's called. Vandostylus, yes. Janus Allison. It's giving me some really fat roots. And, you know, sadly, a lot of the really fat ones that just came out, like this one, and, well, that one's growing well. But this one, a lot of times when they ram into the side of the pot, they just stop growing. So that's really annoying. Or wait, that might actually be it. They see a little green tip. It's coming through the plastic. But I had another one over here. It just rammed into the side and just stopped growing. So it was really annoying. Now, this Vanda, the one that I hate, it just kind of sits up in the tree. I don't ever touch it. It's honestly quite annoying. It has the same roots, hasn't grown anything, and who knows how long. There's my mom. All right, so here is my Vanda Josephine Van Brero crossed with Vanda Jayad Gold. And it's giving me some nice roots on there too. It's kind of really just reaching down. You can really see some of these roots going all the way down there. So it's doing really good. And then I have this Vanda right here, which is just starting to, you know, activate some of those root growths, root tips. See there. This is my Vanda Stylus Tubtem Siam Tavat. And, you know, I don't know if they're getting enough sunlight down on this tree. And Todd, in Todd's Tropicals, he told me that this quarter tree could be adapted to full sun. But I don't know if I should put it in full sun or not. You know, I might not. But I think now it might be a little bit too late to try and adapt it to full sun. So I'm just gonna wait, you know, until next year. And then next year I might do it. But, you know, also this year, you know, maybe it is that there's not enough sun or something. But once again, these leaves on it always just do like this. Every time it gets, you know, like 3 leaves or so, it just drops the other one. Like, it doesn't lose it, it just kind of like flops, which is really, really annoying. But I got a couple more on the patio and then one inside. Completely forgot about my Schomburgkia thomasiana, and it's giving me a lot of new growths, you guys. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new growths on it, and it's just in full sun now because I was like, you know what, they can take full sun, and it's just what it needed apparently, because now it's giving me all these new growths. So it loves it, and it's also attaching really well to a piece of wood, so it's doing pretty good. And there's that one. And here are 2 cattleyas that I don't know, like I haven't confirmed that it's a virus or anything, so I just kind of keep them separate. But they both have it, whatever it is, or it could just be like a weird growth pattern. I'm not exactly sure. If someone knows, please let me know. If you know what this is, it could be a bug thing, I don't know. So it's not this, that's just obvious sun damage. It's not bacterial or anything, it's just because I kind of left them out in the sun, because I forget about these all the time, because I don't know, they were in a different place, but they just have a virus, maybe, I don't know what it is exactly, but if anyone knows if it's a virus, I'll burn them, and has like proof. I just don't have the heart to burn a plant. But, so, as you can see, also is reaching for sun. This growth is kind of growing really just towards the sun, because I had it in complete shade, and I just today moved it over here, so hopefully right here it gets enough sun. This is my LC Time Finney crossed with BLC Mem Rosalind Reisman. And this one, it bloomed for me last year with a really nice pink fluffy bloom. I actually really liked the bloom, and it may be virus now. I don't know what gave it to it or what, because I have no other plants that just died of a virus or have these symptoms. This one is my RLC Koichi Akatsuka. Yeah, anyway. And see, but the odd thing is, oh wait, I never actually told you what the problem was. Down here at the base, they're turning black, right? Like all of the bases of the bulbs are turning black. They're not squishy, you know, or anything like that, but all of the bases are just, you know, they're black, and I can't like cut them off because it's base of every single pseudobulb. But I thought like that means the pseudobulb, the base of it's dead, right? No, because there's a new growth coming out right here, and the same issue is happening over here. You know, the bases of the pseudobulbs are black, if you can see. They're just dying. I don't know, they look infected by something, but there's that new growth coming off the side. And so if anyone knows what the issue is, and it also has this this on its leaves, kind of like modeling, but it could just be like edema or something. That's not what edema even looks like, but I'm just like, I don't know, I don't have the heart. As I was saying, I don't really think it's edema, but I just don't have the heart to throw something out. So I'm just kind of keeping them separated, you know. They're away from all the other plants, so if they do have a problem, it's their problem, no one else's, you know. Right here's my Oncidium ampliatum, and it's giving me 2 good growths. This one, which is kind of all twisted, and then this one, which is also kind of twisted, but not nearly as bad. and I hope that this one does good for me. I put it in mulch. I don't know if I did repotting on it or told you guys about it or anything, but this is one of the plants, once again, I just kind of leave off to the side. I never really developed any kind of attachment to. But I just kind of leave it off to the side, and you know, if it does well, it does well, but it's a really big plant, so I just kind of leave it. I don't really bother with it. Last thing outside is this little Blatilla striata, and it always fails with the new growths. Like, they don't really do anything, they don't get big, they don't do anything, but you know, I just put it in full sun. I had never put it in full sun before, but now I am. So hopefully, you know, when the new growths come out, hopefully it gives me a second flush of growths this year, because I think it could. Either later or this year, or later this year or next year, you know, I'm gonna put it in full sun from the beginning. That way, hopefully it'll do better and not just, you know, look like that. But Masdevallia inside, and then I'm just gonna wrap it up. All right, guys. So this is what I'm doing with my Masdevallia. It's a Masdevallia Falcon Sunrise. It's my only Masdevallia, but it hates me. And I think I'm just really bad with cool growers. But yeah. Anyway, so this is the only way that I can really grow it without it just killing all of its new growth and hating me. So I guess this is just the way I'm gonna have to grow it. And also, I have this really ugly terrarium, which I'll show you. And it is functional when you like close everything up, which is very, like, it's an awful setup. And it looks really bad too, but I just don't really care at this point. You know, if it works, it works. And you know, it does work for growing the Masdevallia, but I don't know, I think that the other way is just a little bit more simple. You know, this is just really simple compared to the other ugly thing. So, you know, why not? And, you know, it really discourages me to grow Masdevallias because I just don't, like, any other way that I grow this, all of its new growths just turn brown or black and fall off and rot and turn to goop. So, I don't know. I hope it does well in this. It's only been in this for like a week, if even that, but can't grow outside because it's too hot, and can't grow inside, like outside of a glass area, because otherwise it just, you know, once again turns black, rot and everything. So it's really annoying to grow a Masdevallia here. Maybe it's just this one having a problem, because some of them I'm sure would grow fine for me, but you know, I love Masdevallias. I love the way that they bloom, but I just can't grow them, you know, as far as I know. Now I think Hendere or something like that. I can't say, I don't really remember the name. It starts with an H and says something like that. I think that's a warmer grower, and also Floribunda, if I'm thinking right. I think those are warm growers. So I should probably go for one like that. But I asked, his name Russ Bolt at Looking Glass Orchids, like, what's one that you think might be a little bit more heat tolerant, and it's like the cheapest one you got? Because I just wanted to try it. And so he grabbed me this one. I think this was last October. He grabbed me this one and was like, this one, well, it's a hybrid, so it might be a little bit more tolerant to however you grow it. And also it's like 15 bucks. So I bought it, and it's lived. Not great though. It's given me, you know, the only time a growth can really mature is when it's in that ugly terrarium I just showed you, or in this one. So, you know, that's kind of annoying, but I mean, it still grows. And you know what? If it lives, it thrives like this, you know, it's okay. I'll just have an ugly terrarium in my room for the rest of my life. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it might have been a little bit boring watching me go on and on about my plants, but I know some people like to see things like that. And, you know, I really would just love to do things like what a lot of people do. You know, Todd and TD More Orchids, just stuff like this. They just walk around the greenhouse. Well, he uses a polytunnel and just outside and stuff, but you know, just walk around and talk about things like every once in a while. And you know, I'd love to do that, but I just don't know how many people would watch it. But also, it's just like the uploading and editing process, it's awful. So if and when I can live, I think you can live at 1,000 subscribers. I'd just go live because it's a lot easier. So hopefully, you know, hopefully when we get there, I don't know. I'll start living every once in a while and just telling you guys about all the plants. And if anyone gets on, that's great. If they don't, that's cool. Also, I do have something happening and going on, and it's a surprise. And I'll be filming the whole process, and it might be up if we even go through with it. I'm not exactly sure if we are. It'll probably be up maybe September or October, and that's gonna be where all the videos are happening from now on. So you probably already know at this point what it might be. Anyway, I'm not gonna say it, but if anyone knows it, you know it. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.